Ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. Now, what tank is more fearless? You know, what is the best fearless? Once upon a time, there was only one fearless tank in the game, and it was one fearless tank that everybody wanted to get their hands on. They wanted to get their hands on it for one reason, and one reason alone. Not because it was overpowered, not because it was super strong, but more for the fact it was super rare. This tank, the Is6 Fearless, was so rare that only a handful, literally in one, I could count how many players had this on one hand. Of course, the Is6 Fearless is a very old tank. However, it was extremely rare. Now day and age, there's three of them. There's not just one, there's not two, there is three fearless tanks in the game. We're going to talk about all three, and we're going to rate them best to worst. Now, as you can see, the Is6 Fearless is first on your screen. So out of the three tanks, I do think that this is the worst. You know, it's an Is6. It basically is an Is6. So back sort of 8 years ago, then yeah, this was super strong, because it would have had the preferential matchmaking when it was a +2 -2. So you would never have seen tier 10. But yeah, nowadays, you know, we don't have +2 -2 matchmaking. The Is6 has been completely power crept, and yeah, it's just not as good as it once was. You know, it's still okay to have, and of course, if you have the chance to get the tank, then of course it definitely is worth getting the tank, because it is extremely rare. Of course, it's not as rare as it once was. Now, if those of you that have never seen one of my Is6 Fearless, I'll tell you the little story about that. So of course, when I joined the game, the Is6 Fearless, I didn't even know it existed until a good friend of mine, Xenodium, that he had it, and I'm like, how the frick have you got that tank? Basically, there was a competition that the best players, I don't know if it was the best 5 or top 5 or top 2 or whatever, the top players managed to get the tank, and it literally had to be the top players. It wasn't the kind of events that you see now. It was a lot more difficult. Like, not everybody is going to be able to get the tank, you know. There was just a handful of people that managed to get the tank. So they done that for once, I think, over a number of years, and then they decided to do it again. Now, when they done it again, another lot of people managed to get themselves the tank. Then Wargaming decided to open up the gift store. Now, those of you that are not aware what happened back then, so instead of putting the Is6, they actually put the Is6 Fearless in the gift store. So what you could do, and what I did to get my Is6 Fearless, is you could actually gift it yourself. You could gift it to yourself. Yes, believe it or not, you could gift it to yourself. 7,400 or 7,600 gold, that is all it was. But then Wargaming realized that they messed up, and they removed it. And not only did they remove it, but they removed it from those that bought the tank. So my Is6 Fearless got completely removed. Wargaming put my gold back on that I spent. Happy days, you know. Okay, it was a mistake. Wargaming have taken that, you know. I got no problem. The only problem I had with it was the fact that I played it and I did not ace it. And back then, I was really big on like trying to ace my tanks. Like, those of you that have been around for a long time would know that. But yeah, that was the only thing I was sort of really pissed off about, the fact that I played the tank but I did not ace it. So now I'm never going to have the opportunity to ace the tank. Then Wargaming kind of went back on what they thought. So they thought, you know what, this isn't fair. It was our mistake. So, you know, let's just give the tanks back. Not a lot of people got it, so let's just give the tanks back. So the next day, I just got the tank. You know, I was playing the game, and, you know, you got a new tank, and it was the Is6 Fearless again. But they didn't take any gold. So, in effect, I got this tank for absolutely free because of a Wargaming mess-up. Nowadays, of course, it is still good to have in your garage. There is opportunities to get, there was opportunities to get the tank in ratings game. That is before Wargaming changed it. They removed it from ratings, and they replaced it with this. So they replaced it with the Lorraine. Now, the Lorraine Fearless, I don't think is like an amazing tank. If those of you that have played the Lorraine, it's a decent tank when in the right hands, but it is still a very difficult tank to play. It's not the easiest. It's got the 4-shell autoloader, but yeah, it is a very difficult tank to play. It's not easy. You've got no armor whatsoever. You've got 20 seconds on your magazine reload. Yeah, and everyone's just going to penetrate you. So, of course, Wargaming changed the ratings tank to this, and yeah, so this is now the only way that you were able to get the tank. Obviously, I don't really play ratings. I've never had the opportunity to get the tank. Wargaming did remove it. Obviously, they did remove it from the ratings, and of course, they replaced it with the next Fearless tank. But you know, looking on, is it going to be a tank the same as the IS6? Apart from ratings, is it going to be a tank that we're going to be able to get? I don't know. I don't think, and I think it will be wrong of Wargaming to direct sell them, you know, open up the store and there's a Fearless, because a lot of people worked hard for these tanks, you know, especially the IS6 Fearless back in the day, because it was very hard. People had to work really, really hard to be able to get the Fearless. So for Wargaming then just to outright sell it in the store or in crates, I do think that will be wrong. However, I do think Wargaming should do more events to be able to get the tanks again. You know, whether they put them back into ratings, but by the look of it, I don't think they are going to put them back into ratings, because they've now gone on to the sort of the routine that they're doing, where every few months or every year or so, they are changing it for a new Fearless tank. But yeah, I would like for them to rotate it, because especially people play ratings. They get so many tokens or whatever you need, or parts to be able to get the tank, and then they change it, and some people might be so close to be able to get the tank. So before they start bringing out more Fearless tanks, I definitely think that they should go back and do it over again. You know, every so often, take out the new Fearless from ratings and replace it with the old one again. So hopefully they do that. It does give people more opportunity to be able to get the tanks. But yeah, currently there is no possible way of ever at the moment getting the Lorraine Fearless, and that is because it was replaced with the next tank. And of course, it is the T49 Fearless. Now, when Wargaming announced that they are adding pretty much a premium T49, I thought that was amazing. You know, everybody, the T49 is a fan favorite. It's a fantastic tank for some. You know, some people don't like it. I'm not a lover of it. You know, I could get by. I can play it. I can have fun in it. But it's not one of my favorites. You know, but yeah, I would love for Wargaming to actually add a proper premium T49. You know, not a T49 Fearless, or not the T49A as we've previously seen in Tier 7 with the rockets, but you know, at a proper premium T49, because it is the T49 ever since it was released. Like, it's always been a fan favorite, and adding the Fearless version of this is great. It really is. It looks fantastic, but it's also like a kind of like a tease, because it's what everyone wants. You know, everybody wants a premium T49. They want to buy, they want to play the T49 and actually earn credits, etc. But yeah, they've only added it as a Fearless, and of course, not many people will be able to get the tank. It is currently in. You're able to get the tank through ratings, but again, how long is it going to be there for before Wargaming change it again? So out of the three, I definitely think the T49 Fearless is the best. It's the most fun, of course. It has that higher dirt, the alpha. It has speed. Yeah, and I just think it's, in this day and age, in this current meta, yeah, I definitely think it's more fun than the IS6, and of course it is more fun than the Lorraine as well. But who knows what they're going to add next? You know, they've got a heavy tank, they've got a medium tank, and they've now got a light tank. So rumor has it, or there's no rumor, you know, it should be a tank destroyer. Now, what tank destroyer? If it's going to be a tank destroyer, obviously we're looking at current tier 8s tank destroyers. So if Wargaming are going by what they are currently doing, what tank do we think is next going to be a fearless tank? Do you know what I'm going for? I'm going probably the ISU 152. It's gotta be, isn't it? It's gotta be the ISU 152. I can't see it being any other tank. I can't see it being one of the premium tanks that we currently got. Maybe a Scorpion G or, you know, something like that, but I can't see that. I definitely think it will be a tech tree tank. Maybe a T28 or a T28 prototype. That's a lot better. I really don't know, but you know, my initial thought would be it will be an ISU 152, but let me know what you guys think is going to be the next fearless tank. There might not be a next one, I don't know, but if there is, I think it will definitely be a tank destroyer, and it will probably be, maybe, I'm guessing, the ISU 152. But this is the current 3 fearless tanks in the game, rated from worst to best. So the Is6 Fearless in 3rd, the Lorraine Fearless in 2nd, and of course the T49 in 1st. Let me know in the comments below, do you own any of these? Do you own all of them? Or do you own just none of them? And what ones would you like to own? I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'm meadsy69, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye.